Hi guys, we're out here today to make some tarp shelters. And the reason I'm wanting to do that is this year I'm wanting to look at doing more minimal camping. So instead of taking out so much with me, kind of taking out the bare minimum, giving myself a bit of a challenge and seeing how I get on. So with that, we've got our tarp and we're going to make a bunch of different styled covers, really, for the wind and the rain. And I'm going to try and go from what I've been researching, from the worst to the best. And that's not saying the worst is not usable, just what I think from my research. And we'll see how we get on. And as we're doing it, I might realise that one's better than another. But no point in hanging about. Let's get it open and get it done. Oh, please tell me I press play. Oh, I did, thank goodness. So, what we're doing here is we're literally just putting it on a gradient, and that is it. Now, I have actually quite a large tarp. I've actually never really fathomed just how big it is, and I've only got the one, so I've always used this one. So you might have noticed we had to move location, because it was too big for being in between the other trees. Aye, that'll do. So this is the first one, guys. This tarp is much bigger than I thought it was. I've only ever used this tarp, it's the only one I've got. But I've never realised just how big it is. I've always used it for hammocks. So I've always used it a very specific way, which I will show you. It's a very simple way, but to have it actually completely laid out, almost laid out flat, it's amazing just how big it is. I'll actually need to measure it. It's got to be 12 foot by 10 foot maybe. It's a big tarp. But we're going to make do. We're going to build as much as we can. I did have to move because literally as I was putting it up, I was going, oh wow, I can't fit it in between these trees. But anyway, we've got this. It's literally just laid out flat at a gradient. That allows you to get under. And obviously with this size of tarp, loads of space. There are bits on it that in the middle that I could use to pull up, and it would make it higher if I attached it to a tree behind me, or even a big pole that I've stuck into the ground. I could use that, and that's going to open up the space more. But this one's really good, fast and simple. The only thing is it does leave you open to the elements if you've not picked a great place, and the wind can change at any time. So you are exposed on 3 out of 4 sides. But hey, you'll get covered, you'll be saved by the rain, plenty of space. It's a good, what I would use it for, an emergency, in a hurry, tarp cover. Second tarp cover. Now this, obviously it takes a little bit more work. You're tying off 4 parts and pinning the back, which is a little bit more work than that just lean-to we just had. But I would imagine, because I've not used this one before, this versus the first one, as said, the same, you're open to 3 out of 4 sides, but because of the extra lines that are securing it, I would imagine that the wind isn't going to disturb the tarp as much. You're not going to get that fluttering that you do get when it gets windy. I would go for this one versus the first one if I had a little bit more time to be able to do it. And if I wasn't in a rush, there was no issues, this is this is what I would go for between the two of them. Just realised I took off my mic there. I hope you managed to hear all of that. And let's go on to the next one. So this is the third one. Out of the 4 openings, we are covered on 2 sides and open at 2 sides. This is by far out of the first 3 the best for coverage. It probably takes less time than number 2, actually. As I said, this would be a learning thing for both of us, as this isn't something that I've specifically gone out my way to do in the past. I've thrown them up before, but I've not, went into looking at them in the depth and stuff like that. So 3 so far would be the preferred, and it seems to be faster than 2, but not as fast as 1. 1 is still really good if you need to get something up really quick and fast. So this is a diamond setup, I believe is the name. Probably better used for hammocks as well. It's got its pros and cons for hammocks, but that's obviously not what we're doing today. You've got good coverage here, the rain's off you. I don't think it's as good as the previous one that looked more A-frame-ish. You've certainly, by doing this, you open up a lot more for wind. Yeah, if I was ever to use this, I'd probably raise it higher and have it for a hammock. If there was for any reason I couldn't do it the normal way. Would you believe it, boys and girls? I forgot to actually video doing it. Didn't press the button. But it's not one of my videos unless I make a mistake. So at least you know it's me and not anybody else. So what we've done here, because you've never seen it, all we've done is connect one corner up as high as we could go with a tree, especially because of the length of this tarp. Tightened it as much as we could to the opposite corner, and then pinned the other 2. Super simple. So in this case, what's really good about this one is you've really got 3 sides instead of 4. Fair enough, one of the sides is quite big, open. The other 2 are obviously pinned. But guys, I really like this. This gives you so much space. And if you have an inkling to do it, and your tarp has the potential to do it, you can grab one of your little connections here, and one other bit of paracord, connect it to a tree, and that's going to open up that inside big time, especially with a tarp this size. And when you climb inside it, even the now, with that falling down or lower there, I'd be very comfortable sleeping in here in my bag. And when that goes up, easily 3 people and their packs, I'd imagine, could get in there quite comfortably. It also leaves, because of the way it's set up, and if it's safe to do so, you could have a fire there, and you'd be roasty toasty on the coldest of nights. That's I really like this. Keep your eye out for this in the future, because this is it's just really nice. I'm really excited about this one. But yeah, that's it. Sorry I didn't record actually building this one. I'm probably just going to fast forward through them anyway, because the actual doing them is probably really boring, and they're that simple. You don't need much instruction on it. There is one that I've got in mind, the last one. In fact, I think it's next, as it's more difficult. It essentially turns your tarp into a tent without a door. So, yeah, like this one. Look out for this one in the future. This one's my favourite so far. Let's do the last one, and I'll let you get home. All right. Now the ground is a bit uneven here, so we'll do our best. Alright. So this one, I'm going to give you some instruction on. So, we've pinned the two back corners. That's the part that's going to be completely enclosed. And for here, if I remember right, you take your corner and you bring it in to the next, you call them divots? I think they're divots. So you bring that corner in to where that divot is. And then pin it. And then same with this corner. Bring it there. And there you go. Now, what you can do is two options. If you're in a place where there's overhanging branches and you know they're secure, you know they're not dead wood going to fall on you, you can use one of your clips on the back of your tarp if you have them. Tie it on over the branch, and you can pull it up. That's going to be great for a space saver inside, because if not, you're going to have to do what we're going to try and do and use a branch as a pole. You could use a walking pole as well if you wanted. But that's what we're going to try and fit in there just now. So let's get an idea of how tall I need it. So, I want to say up to my waist, I'd say. There's my saw. So, what we've been doing, we had to adjust the front corners a little bit. So it seems to be more, instead of it going to the next divot along when you've got it flat, it's maybe more about halfway between the corner and the next divot. I'd say about half. I think that's where I've corrected it to. And then little divot that's there, or toggle, tied onto there and pulled it back to the far end peg. And we're going to do it on the same other side as well. And there we have it. That's it, guys. Let's have a look inside. Again, this is my first time doing these. I've seen them before, I've studied them before, but I've never went out my way to do them. So, let's see. Oh aye. It's a fair size. You could lie down there, two people. One person with their bag. There is One problem I foresee in it is this stick that we're using. I'll climb in. Oh, well, hey, you know what? See, once you climb in a bit more, the hell a lot bigger. But yeah, this stick here, it would be far advantageous for you to not have that there and try and dancing around it. But it's definitely the best for coverage. There's no arguing. You know, the only thing that makes every single one of these better is if you have more pegs with you, or if you make some pegs from wood when you're out and about. If you don't have any spare, but to peg them in, those wee divots there, and on the other side will definitely help close any gaps for the wind. And that is another one. I'll be using that in the future. I believe you could make a little A-frame inside if you had more time. But the sun's going down now, and I can't imagine I've got any more than half an hour to get packed up before the last of that light's away. So this is it, guys. Thank you for joining us, or joining me. I will say I've been taken by that last one we did before this. It's that's going to be my favourite today, and this is definitely a close second. And the other ones I would use if I had to, if I didn't have much other option. But they're all viable, they're all doable, and you know, in a situation you may need it, it might save you. It will certainly make you feel a lot more comfortable than sitting out in the rain and the wind. But thank you. Most of the knots we used today are the friction tension knot, and I have a video on that I'll put at the end. It'll be somewhere, wherever on the screen, and that's what I've been using for pretty much everything in this video. And I'll leave you to it. Thanks for joining me. It's been an experience for me as well, and it's been good fun. Take care of yourselves, take care of those around you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.